Hi friends, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm so excited. March is finally here, so I'm not sure if you saw the video when I started all these bulbs in containers with you in fall, and I normally would put them in my unheated garage so that way the bulbs don't rot out from the snow and the rain, and also the rodents don't get to them. So in today's video I'm just bringing them out, and then I'm gonna give them a good drink of water. Yes, and then we're gonna go and plant some tulips I had left over in some containers. So here we are, friends. Look at this. And friends, look at my 2 buckets here from the dollar store. I can't stress enough, you definitely need to pick up some of these to help you out in the garden. It makes life so much easier. Anyway, so here we are, and friends, here is the hyacinth. Look at that. I'm so excited. And here we have the muscari grapes, and I think this one is a combination. So I'm gonna give all of them water, and that will help to wake them up while the sun is out. Yes, I think these ones are hyacinth, but at least I can go back to my video and I could see what is what. And if not, perfectly fine. I love any spring bulb surprises, right? I am so excited that March is here and we could at least get outside and enjoy the temperatures as they warm up. So all I'm doing here, friends, is just give them 1 good drink of water. Normally I would give them 1 good drink of water in early February, but this year I did not. The time just flew by. I think my focus was on starting seeds inside this year, but it did well, as you can see. So we're just gonna give them some water. All right, friends, so these are the tulips I have left over from in the fall season. I picked this up at Home Depot like really late in the season. I just couldn't help myself. But this one is the Angelique and Freeman collections. Look at the blooms on here, so pretty, and it was half off. And then I have some left over of the Darwin hybrid here, and then this one I had left over from Aldi grocery store. This one is your Alliums, so pretty, friends. So let me digress for a second. If you have bulbs left over and they were stored in an unheated space, whether that was your garage, your basement, it has to be unheated where it's cold, okay? They will bloom for you right now. If you had them in your living room where you have your normal temperature in the house, the kitchen, the bedroom, wherever, they will more than likely not bloom for you, because tulips need at least 12 weeks of cold air to help jumpstart the blooms. 12 weeks. So as I said, they were in my unheated garage. I do this every year, so I'm gonna go and see what spots I can find to plant these out. I was thinking of putting them in containers, but I'm trying to stay away from containers. I have a lot of containers, as I shared with you before, with tulips. I just want to get them in the ground and don't have to be worrying about taking up the container, making sure they're cure, like dry out, to store them for the next year. So let's go around the garden. I'm sure I could find somewhere in the ground I can put these guys, and I should get blooms this current season. So I haven't experienced this, so I'm just gonna tell you what I think. If you have tulips that were not in a cold area, go ahead and plant them out and see what will happen. Don't keep them in your house until you're ready to plant stuff in fall, because they probably will not survive for you. But go ahead and plant them out now and see what will happen. As I said, I don't think you will get blooms, because with your tulips they need to be at least 12 weeks in the cold air to get blooms. But anyways, let's go around the garden and let's get these guys in the ground. I'm so excited that spring is here. The weather is warm, friends, and here we have some signs of a daffodil coming up, and they're even taller on the other end over here. Here you are. Do you see that? You could see the bloom head right in here. They're bigger over here. But anyway, let me go around and see where I can put these guys in the ground. So on this end I have an arbor, and I have 2 climbing roses on there. However, this one over here, this is a super Dorothy rose, friends, and last year I noticed it was growing away from the arbor, so I just dug it out and I'm trying to plant it closer to the base of the arbor, so that way when it gets going it will just wrap itself around the arbor. So that's what's going on here. And I even dug out a nice spot here, like a triangle. So I think I'm gonna put the tulips in here. All right, friends, so this batch is this one. So these will bloom mid-spring. They will get 20 to 22 inches tall. And then this batch over here, these ones will bloom. I think I ripped it off. These ones will bloom, I think it says late spring, and they will get 16 to 18 inches tall. So I have 25 of this, and I probably have maybe 20 or so here. So I'm gonna go and just sprinkle them throughout these rectangle pieces I cut out by the rose area here. All right, friends, so same concept here. Look at this one. I don't know what's going on with these climbing roses. So I'm gonna dig it out and then take this side and turn it that way so it could lean towards the arbor, and then plant more tulips on this end, and I'll show you what it looks like. The alliums, and what I'm gonna do, I'm going to just sprinkle them in between the spaces on this end. This is a cut flower garden, so I think that will look pretty. And over here, look at all these seedlings coming back. Larkspur, Nigella love in a miss. They just reseeded themselves over here. So I'll just stick these in between, and I think that will look pretty. Friends, I'm in the rose garden area, so I'm going to tuck some in between over here, because I think allium, they're a great companion plant for roses. It looks so pretty, and allium belong to the onion family. I think they're related to the onion family, so they give off this smell. They deter rabbits and deer and squirrels because of the onion smell. So we're going to put some over here also, just because it complements the roses and to help with any pests. Let me show you my madness here, but as I always say, there's a reason behind it. So here we have the tulips, daffodil, grape hyacinth, muscari. What else we have here? Whatever else. We have a lot of bulbs in here. So what I did here, I went around the yard and I found my little twigs and sticks here. So I just did something like this just to protect them from the squirrels. My biggest problem in my garden, guess what they are? Squirrels, right? And I'm sure that's probably the same for you. So with the hyacinth, they don't eat these because they have a smell, along with the daffodils. But with the tulips, they definitely would munch off the tip of the tulip. And you know, they're just coming out of the winter, they're hungry, they're looking for their nuts all over the garden. You should see them out here. Even in the winter, these squirrels, they were not sleeping whatever they're supposed to be doing. They were literally out in the winter. This has been a strange winter. Let's leave it like that. Anyway, so here we are. So I just did that, and I used some of these dollar store waste basket. I have a lot of them, but I don't have enough to cover all these pots of bulbs I have here. So let me show you what I did here. And then I have them on my dining table here, just to keep them off the ground from the squirrels. Yes, they can jump and all of that, but I figure if they're on the table, they probably wouldn't go to them, right? As opposed to if they're on the ground. And then over here I have more containers here with tulips, and this is what it looks like with the basket. These baskets, they are the best. I'm telling you, if you're looking for a way to protect your tulips in your garden or in your planters, get $20 and invest in at least one. How much would that give you? 12, 13, whatever the math is. They're really, really worth it. Would be the best $20 you've ever spent in your garden anyways. So here we have another drop set like that. And what I did with some of the alliums, let me go over here. The yard is a mess because it's obviously coming out the winter season. I have stuff everywhere, but I'm giving the garden a chance to wake up properly. I'm not going to cut back my plants until the garden is completely awakened, so to speak, because of the pollinators. But the rose bushes, definitely I'll be pruning those soon because I have to. And then in these two containers, friends, I just tuck some extra alliums in there. And what I do here, I shared this with you before, where I have the white rocks, I planted alliums there. I use the white rocks so that way I know I planted something, otherwise I'm not going to remember. Then I'm going to dig up the spot and damage whatever I have in the ground there. So that's why we have some of the alliums. And then let me take you over to the cut flower garden. On my way to the cut flower garden side, I saw these. I forgot I had these out here too. So we have daffodils in here, the same setup I did here with the twigs and stuff in these containers. Friends, these were in my garage, okay? Because when you have bulbs in containers, you have to put them in an unheated spot. where they will get the cold air and they'll be protected from the rodents. And I'm so excited. Alrighty, so this is what I did here. Not sure if you noticed, the rose bush is no longer there. So let me show it to you. Here it is. So I got this offline from heirloomroses.com, and both of them were supposed to be Super Dorothy. This one is definitely Super Dorothy because it bloomed and it was so pretty. As I said to you, it wasn't pointing itself towards the arbor, it was going away from the arbor, so that's why I just had to dig it out and then position it over here so it can go up and go through. So always keep that in mind when you're planting a rose. Sometimes it happens. Anyways, so with this one, it bloomed one time and the blooms were not Super Dorothy, that much I know. They were pretty blooms, but I don't know if it's a climbing rose. I really don't think it is. So I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna put it back in. So just look at it. I'm gonna put it in a pot with some soil and see what happens. But what I'm gonna do here, friends, I have some sweet pea I'm doing for the first time. And sweet pea, they're climbers, they give off a beautiful smell. I think they complement roses very well. And this is a cut flower side of the yard. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna plant my sweet pea seedlings right there and just position them to climb on the arbor. And maybe later down I'll get a climbing rose, but I think that will look really pretty there. And look at my arborvitaes. These were what, $5 I think from Home Depot or Lowe's. I'm thinking it was Home Depot a few years ago, friends. Look how big they're getting. They were tiny babies. They're looking so good. So this is marking the entrance of the garden. So the tulips are in. I'm so excited about that. So I think it will look pretty. So coming from the front, this is the side of the yard, and you can see this from the roadside. So I really think this will look so pretty. And then these two areas here, if you haven't seen them, these are my cut flower area where I have my zinnia, my sunflower, all those seeds I put in here. But right now the seeds I have in here, they're cool flower seeds. So like your larkspur, poppy, nigella, love in a mist, bells of Ireland. This is where these seeds are gonna come back here, and I'll have spring flowers I can cut on. And then after it get hot and it start to die off, or I would say dormant because it come back alive, right? I would then put my zinnias and my cosmos for the first time this year, and sunflowers on both ends here. This looks so pretty from the roadside, so I'm really excited about this. So anyway, so friends, if you have any bulbs left over and you had them in a cold area in your house, at least for 12 weeks, for me, as I said before, they were in my unheated garage, you can definitely plant them now and they will bloom for you. And I'm talking from experience, okay? So remember, your bulbs, especially your tulips, your daffodils, your alliums, especially tulips, they need that cold air. And if you had them in your house where you had your regular warm temperature in your house, guess what, just put them in the ground because they're gonna die on you, right? Just stick them in the ground somewhere. But anyway, friends, this is what this side is looking like. I'm really excited about this, and I'm so happy I was able to get the rose in, because you want to transplant your roses when it's dormant. All right, friends, thank you for being here, and I can't wait to show you what this will look like when the temperature has warmed up and the ground is waking up and the bulbs are waking up. I'm so excited. I can't wait. But anyway, friends, I hope you're in your garden and you're doing what you can do at this point. But thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one now. Cheers.